1, 2, 5, and 4, and
Okay.
we are back. Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 73
Good
the
morning.
flip side with me and him. How you
Hey,
been?
weather forecast here in the Philippines: rain, rain, and more rain.
Again?
Yeah. So after one, tropical storm leaves, another one is lined up right behind it. Matter of
Right.
fact, do you mind if I read the Pagasa weather report for this morning?
What's Pagasa weather report? Yeah, go ahead.
Philippine atmospheric geo something. I don't know. I don't remember what Pagasa means. What it stands for, but it's the official weather bureau. What's the right word? The office of the Philippine government that broadcasts the
Okay,
know what
whatever.
Pagasa
Just
means.
the weather forecast.
Center of Severe Tropical Storm Hana, or Haiku, was estimated based on all available data at 1,215 kilometers east of extreme northern Luzon, with a maximum sustained winds of 95 kilometers per hour near the center of the gustiness and 115 kilometers per hour, is moving northwest at
That's about
20
what? 50
kilometers
to
per
60
hour.
miles per hour wind. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not that fast.
No.
Moving really slowly, but maybe gaining. Who am I
What
to
is the
interpret
expected
what this all
downfall?
means? It's already raining right now, is what I mean.
Oh, got it.
That's the whole point of why I was reading the weather report. What was basically, I licked my finger, and it's raining right now. So yeah, so just one Goring left, and the next tropical storm that's coming in.
Hindi ba tag-ulan season naman right now sa Pilipinas?
Yeah, that's right.
Rainy season right now. So it's amihan, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So
if I may,
where we're at.
I wanted to thanks to my wife for today. She had catered to me. I have been injured the last week and a half, basically. I don't know if you remember a couple episodes ago, I mentioned that I twisted my ankle pretty bad.
Okay.
It was starting to heal pretty good, but 2 days ago, I wasn't 100% yet. I injured it again, and it sucks. I mean, I was trying to push a car. My son was helping me, and I just put too much pressure on my foot, and I twisted it again. And for like the past 2 days, I've been severely in pain walking around with my cane.
Oh, geez. Is this totally unrelated to the gym ego altering incident that you posted on social media based on your Ring camera?
That's completely separate, man.
So this is old man injuries?
Yeah. It sucks. It's like before, it'll take a day or two and I'm okay. You know, I can go for a run, whatever.
Is that cane that you have the type that has like 4 or 3 claws on it, or 3 like
my
at
cane?
the bottom? Yeah.
No.
Or is it a mono cane?
It's just a mono. It's just a simple one, you know?
Okay. My dad has one of those tripod, quad pod looking ones where it looks exactly like that, except the bottom has 4. Like,
and then it has a tennis ball in it.
No, he didn't opt for the more expensive version.
I actually thought about getting that, to be quite honest with you. When I bought this, I saw the cane that you're talking about, right? It's the same thing. It's aluminum, but it has the 4 prongs at the bottom.
Right, 4 prongs. But what's the tennis ball that you're talking about?
Some people put tennis balls on there because it lessens the shock throughout the entire cane. When you have a ball down there, it acts as like the tennis ball acts like I guess a shock absorber when you're walking.
Okay.
So it's less crap on your shocks or vibration on your hands.
It's not to show that you picked something up. Like you're not trying to show off that, hey, look, I can pick up a tennis ball.
Honestly, I was at CVS I was looking at this cane, but I saw the cane you're talking about,
Accept na niya.
and I almost bought that cane because now I know why people use that cane. It is comfortable. The balance on that cane is amazing. That's my wife right there.
Don't forget to accept us on your live.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you injured yourself just by pushing a car?
Yeah, I put too much pressure on my foot. So
Not because you were lifting the car off of somebody
No.
that got injured, helping some senior citizen on the ground, rescuing your son from an accident? No?
yeah. My son was helping me push. And I was just exerting myself too much. I already had a bum ankle to begin with. And then I decided to be stupid and feel like I'm 25 years old again and put all the weight on the same injured leg. So that one kind of sucked. So since yesterday, I've been in
Wow.
massive pain. My foot was throbbing, that I had to call out from work today. I didn't go to work today because I can't really put pressure on my foot,
Wow.
So I've been up since I woke up at 3:34 in the morning because my foot was throbbing so much. You know when you para siyang yung muscles mo sa para nagspasm.
Mm.
So it was in so much pain that it woke me up that I couldn't go back to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, so for most of the day I was laying down with an ice pack on
And
my ankle.
How did you get this injury to begin with? Sorry. Before the
I was
car
doing
pushing
some,
incident.
Yeah, I was doing some cleaning work at the garage. And I lifted a box, and then I guess I slipped my foot. I stepped on something, and then it twisted my ankle pretty bad. Yeah.
Wow.
So the whole day, my wife enabled me to just rest my foot, ice pack it, and she's bringing me stuff, getting stuff for me. She made dinner. It just felt
Nice.
good to not be able to put pressure on my feet, and I wanted to give credit where credit is due, and I
Nice.
wanted to say thanks to her, basically.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Huh?
Is it getting better? Is it getting better?
It feels a little bit better than this morning.
Okay, don't tell her that.
I can't
Just-
not tell her that.
No, I mean, just keep the injury a little longer, a couple of more days, just,
See if I can get away with things.
just, get your money's worth.
I picked the wrong time. Put the speaker out loud that she's actually listening and hearing everything. It's the speaker is through the computer right now, so she can hear what we're talking about.
Ask for a little adobo, or what's your favorite? Like Bicol Express, just
She doesn't know
milk it a little bit.
Bicol Express.
Just milk it a little bit is what I'm saying. Just
Yeah. Well, it's too late. I didn't think about that, so now I can't because she heard everything.
couple of more
I
days.
picked the wrong
Just,
day to turn the mic on the speaker on.
like, honey, thank you so much for helping me out. But do you think you can just pass me the remote over there? Just go get it yourself. No, but just this one last time.
My foot's killing me. Oh.
Go get it yourself. Kunin mo. May paa ka dyan, di ba? You still have one leg. Go get it. Go skip over there and go get the remote yourself.
It's so stupid, though. I mean, I woke up, I came down at 4:05 because I needed to take some medicine, but I can't take medicine unless I put something in my stomach. So I decided to make some cup of noodles down here. Man, I don't know why. I was sitting there waiting for the water to boil. I decided to look at the Ring camera. I'm just wobbling left and right, like worse than an old man with a cane. And no, I'm not going to share it and show it because it's just way, way, way more embarrassing than me crawling on the floor. It's ridiculous.
I think our lives are changing, for the better kind of thing with all these technology and, the fact that you can actually look at yourself wobble around, not because you're making a movie or you're making anything special, but like you could just hey, I want to have a look at what I did like 20 seconds ago. You can
Right.
actually do that,
Yeah, I know. I know.
right?
It's a
Like
good thing
before,
and it's a bad thing.
if you wanted to see something like that, you actually have to pay millions, thousands of dollars just to, capture a moment. But now it's like taking a crap. I could take a video, right?
It's easily accessible.
And, I'm making fun of that. But the whole idea that you can actually review, you can actually sort of do a little self reflection.
Yeah.
What we're doing right now, this podcast, we're recording it. We look back and I realized, oh, gosh, I talk too much, or gosh, I can't express myself clearly and succinctly and precisely, and so annoying. I need to fix that.
Wow. Big words there.
But right, the fact that we can actually do that and it's not just abstract and all messed up in my head. Did that actually happen? I actually have to ask another person. Did I really see that? You can
Right.
actually, like for your own 4 eyes or 2 eyes, you can actually see on the video what
It's
happened.
it's kind of cool to be able to do that. But at the same time, it's a little scary, you know? Because I mean, there's just some things that I don't know about you, but there's things that I don't want to look back on. You know?
It's scary, meaning like you can't hide.
I guess
Like
I mean
me.
if you have something to hide, I mean
I can't
that
hide the fact that I got a big forehead.
right, right. I mean, but still, it's like sometimes I'm not talking about for me, for other people, they get too self-conscious, you know.
Yeah,
I
for
think it's a
sure.
big issue actually, where a lot of the things it all stems within individually first. If you're comfortable with your own skin, is am I making
Mm.
sense?
I'm not comfortable, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, what can I do?
That,
Diba? It's like, oh, it's raining. Ah,
that's a
what can I do?
difference. There's a difference there. There's a huge
Yun nga.
difference there.
Actually, that's what I was looking into just before we got in touch. We started chatting a while ago. I was looking into like the difference between, acceptance and like quitting and not changing anything,
Well, I mean,
right?
yeah. I mean,
Like,
once
like, like I don't know if it circles back to what you're talking about, but I mean, yes, all that I'm trying to say is yes, there are things that are acceptable
mm,
that you need to accept before you can actually change it. I think it's just really what I'm trying to say.
yeah, and I agree. I think that's the first step, really. For you to be able to fix anything or change anything, you need to accept it first, you know? Just like what
Yeah.
somebody I heard, the first step to solving a problem or solving anything is recognizing that there is one.
Yeah. That, or to even define the problem, because
Right.
sometimes it's so like, oh, there's a problem. What is it? I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
But is that what you were saying? Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you?
in a way, it's, I guess in a way, because it's sometimes we're so uncomfortable with our own skin, or some people are uncomfortable with their own skin that
Mm,
they kind of belittle themselves in a way that they don't want it, that they don't want to look back into it. You know what I mean?
that's why I like the fact that I'm in my 40s, mid 40s, is that I've learned to accept or somehow figure out or work with those strengths and weaknesses by now. I mean,
Mm.
can you imagine back in my teens or even 20s and 30s, it's like you need to tactics and try to manipulate the situation so that it's in
Oh,
my favor. But
yeah.
now it's like, yeah, it's like that.
Ang laki ng diferensya, no? Ang laki ng diferensya
It's like a
between
whole
then
weight
and now.
off of your shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now
Or-
you can actually work with the problem and not like push the problem down.
Well, because now that we're older, we're able to decipher things better. You know? Para bang
Oh,
mas madali natin na napapag-iba-iba or isa-isa ang mga problema, that it allows us, we're able to like, oh, okay, so this and that. All right, we take it in strides and move on.
I want to tell you, Tin and I were talking about my dad the other day, sort of complaining about him. And I was like, gosh, it's so funny about my dad. And this is what I like about this podcast. Well, I could hide it and say, "Oh, I know somebody or a relative that," but nah, who cares? Yeah, it's my dad. It's so funny, and I tell him about this. It's not like I'm hiding it from him, but I just sort
Right.
of make a joke about it. But we used to have like a langaw bangaw situation here at home. We had a lot of flies,
Yeah.
and then I was complaining about it, and my dad's answer was, you
Buy
know,
another.
we need to buy more fly swatter and more like mosquito killer, insect repellent.
Okay.
And like, Dad,
It's not
the solution to the problem is to throw the garbage outside of the house and not leave it inside.
Right.
You're just, you're just putting a band-aid, or you're just putting you're not healing, you're not pulling it from the roots. That's not the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's a temporary solution because, it's really annoying. And yes, maybe we'll buy a couple of more fly swatters.
Yeah.
But the problem is throwing the garbage outside.
That's the thing, though. It's about wanting to take that extra step.
Yeah, but we need to. It's like,
What do you think now that you're older? If you look back on how you were on your teens, your late 20s, early 30s, what do you think was your biggest, I guess, your biggest, what's that? What's the word I'm looking for here? Obstacle.
biggest teenager obstacle
about you. Yeah. As you grow older. Like, for example, for me, my biggest hurdle that I had to really change,
Mm.
and this works out to being a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, okay,
Mm.
was my procrastination. Man, I was a horrible, horrible, horrible procrastinator before. Oh, I'll take care of that later. Oh, I'll be able to do it's not due until the 13th. I'll take care of it on the 12th. And then, I screw myself. I have screwed myself over in multiple occasions because of my procrastination. And because of that, I've actually caused quite a bit of issues, made some big mistake, cost me a lot of money, and it sucks. But now that I'm older, I end up being one of those old people that think, might as well just do it now. It's going to take like 5 seconds. Do it. You know what I mean? And it sucks because it's annoying.
It's funny that you talk about that, but allow me to sort of let that sort of sink in first, because I have a lot to sort of say about that. I want to park that topic or park that question to the side. Biggest teenager obstacle about me. And I'm with you about procrastination and everything, but there's something that's sort of bothering me that I wanted to bring up, and it's real quick anyway.
Yeah.
Before we get lost into the weeds about, being a teenager and obstacle. We were talking about technology a while ago and videos, especially this podcast. A few minutes before we got on the chat also a while ago, I was looking into the only real-time generative AI app for video chatting, live streaming, and video creation. What is this? Is basically you and I are talking.
Right.
And there's an AI app that I can download on my computer.
Okay.
And and you already see this on Facebook, or your messenger app, you're pretending to be like a princess or what, or you look like a king, or, there's like a face on your face.
Yeah.
But this app that I was looking at was like, if I want to look like John Travolta or Marilyn Monroe, it can actually, it's so realistic. I mean, you can still tell it's an AI.
Right. That's all over TikTok right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's quite impressive, actually.
So I was like, is that going to be fun? Like instead of, but it's cool in the sense that I don't even have to wear a freaking costume.
Right.
Just click that button and we're like, hey, I feel like being a dog today. What are you going to be?
It has gotten to be a pretty Here's where we're so old, because kids are now using it all over the thing with their social media, and it's quite impressive. I gotta admit. I don't know if you're so there's this girl in TikTok right now that's causing a very, very popular trend where she's like dancing like ding 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 ding. She's like, you know what I'm talking about? The one with the
like
green
a computer. but she's
Yeah.
like a computer. Like,
Like a
Yeah, and
flag.
she's doing that as well. So I'm like,
Yeah.
she started doing that, and I was like, dang, that's kind of quite impressive. She made herself look like she's like some Japanese anime
Right.
or whatever.
So
Yeah.
it's nothing new, and you've heard about it before. But the one that I saw is, really as realistic as more realistic than the one that I see on TikTok and the one that I see on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
It's so realistic that I kind of thought, is this sort of that stepping stone between reality or IRL, real life, and the metaverse? It's like somewhere in between.
No.
It's like sort of like a stepping stone where we're more comfortable with the idea that we're actually talking to a computer, but I know that it's Jason behind that face. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yeah, no,
But
no, no.
I-
I know what you're talking about. I think that's not gonna last though. Like right now, it's actually like I said, with and TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Facebook Reels, it's all over the place, and people are going gangbusters about it. But I don't think it's gonna last because people still, by nature, we're still so inclined to seeing the real thing, so to speak.
I was inclined to ask you if we can start a subscription with that because I want to wear like Thomas Jefferson kind of face, or I want to look like Keanu Reeves. For today,
Okay.
I'm talking
John
like
Wick,
Keanu
right?
Reeves.
And
Wick.
then there's going to be an AI one of these days. It's going to come where we could actually change the voice into Keanu Reeves.
They have that already. What are you talking about?
And then it's translating it into Chinese at the same time.
They have that already.
So I could be a Chinese speaking or a Cantonese speaking Keanu Reeves that actually looks like Keanu Reeves, and we're talking on the podcast, and it's like nothing.
Can you imagine Keanu Reeves? Ni hao. Ni
So, and I know it's nothing new. You've heard about it before, but the
Yeah.
more I thought about how it'll work for our podcast or what it is that we're doing here right now, that it actually relates to our lives. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm being ushered into the metaverse without
Can you
me
imagine
even
you
without
as
me
John
even
Wick?
knowing it.
You as John Wick sitting there, and then me as maybe, I don't know, Denzel Washington and the Equalizer
Yeah.
sitting down and just having conversation.
And then
That was-
exactly, and then next thing you know, instead of buying a house, a physical structure or a piece of land here in the Philippines, you'll be like, can I buy a house or a piece of land in the metaverse? Which people already have been doing. But point is that now we're sort of integrating into it slowly but surely.
Do you?
So that's just
I don't
what I
know.
wanted
That's gonna
to
take a
sort of
while.
get out of the way.
Yeah,
It
I think
is
that's gonna
taking
take
a while, but what I'm saying is it is taking a while. But yes, here are already the first couple of steps forward.
Yeah, it already happens in Japan. Just to let you know, like on a regular, more so than here in the States. You know, which is still
Chatting,
kind of cool. I think.
podcasts,
What's that?
chatting, podcasts. What do you mean?
Like the whole thing, how people are actually doing that, but as somebody else, like you said, you know,
Mm,
but they're using characters, not specific characters like actors or anything. I've seen,
Right.
like, yeah, it's still kind of
so. You still know that it's anime or some kind of drawing or art that you're looking at.
Yeah.
But wala lang. The one that I saw a while ago was so realistic. I mean,
Oh.
even like paintings, like those portrait paintings that they used to have back in the 1800s or what.
Yeah.
Like pick, King Philip III or whatever. I can have that on the video right now.
Hmm.
And you know how they have like they're talking like this, and I could be talking like that the whole time that we're on this podcast
Right.
with a wig and I could look like a pirate or whatever. But the whole idea is, it's so. I mean, just the fact that I thought about doing it on the podcast or this recording or this thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
it's beginning to integrate into, oh, how can I use that technology in our lives? It sort of like gave me goosebumps in a sense, like, oh, I'm being ushered into the metaverse. Next thing you know, I have a bank account and I own a piece of land and I'm traveling in the metaverse.
Are you actually into something like that though? Like just virtually?
Yeah, that's what I mean, because
I
I feel like I'm a rebel that I'm not. I'm so averse to that.
Right.
But the fact that I'm entertaining the idea now, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, here it is.
Right under your fingertips.
Me showing up as a hypocrite, saying that I'm not into it, but here I am.
Right. I mean, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's a 50-50 thing if I want to immerse myself into something like that, just because I'm very comfortable with how I look, who I am, and all that stuff. I have no inclination or desire to, I don't know, whatever,
live in the metaverse. But the flip side of that, the next sort of crossroad to that, or part of that whole conversation, is like, should I put a chip on my hand so I don't actually have to turn on the computer? I just go like this and it'll just like, my Tesla door will just open.
That would be pretty cool though, So lights off.
You just go like that and the whole setup already like pops up the camera and
Minority Report, all you had to do was wear gloves and like,
at least on the fingertips. Right. And just, but no, I think what I was joking about was Neuralink, that it's like on your head, or like, surgery into your thing. Surgically inserted into your open orifices. Anyway, that's my thing about that. Is there anything else that you want to talk about, or you want to go back to teen obstacles about myself?
No, we can go something else. So let me just make an screeching announcement right here, ladies and gentlemen. Jollibee will be opening in September 13th, 20 minutes closer to me.
From the 45-minute Jollibee branch, now you have a 20-minute.
Correct. It's going to be Jollibee. 45-minute drive is it's one way. Okay. That's one way. Round trip would be like almost 2 hours. Now it's going to be maybe 30 minutes round trip by driving. Maybe. I'm so excited. Yeah. I'm not excited for the chicken itself, or not the spaghetti itself, but the chicken I am, and the pies. Oh man.
Let me just give my 2 cents on the biggest teen obstacle for me, just so that I have my little 2 cents on it.
Yeah.
And so I can sleep at night, because I was excited to talk about it also because, and I don't want to dwell on this too much if it's too sort of boring of a topic for today.
No, that's fine.
Because there's also a lot of other newsworthy things that we could talk about. But I'm with you on procrastination. But I also just sort of realized, and I'm still sort of sinking my teeth into this, as in literally this week, that I'm admitting to myself that I'm more of a perfectionist, and I know it doesn't look like it, like my room's a mess and all that.
Yeah.
But the reason I realized that the reason why I'm procrastinating is that there's some sort of perfectionist tendencies hidden there somewhere.
How does that apply now? I'm a little lost.
Right. Exactly. Me too. I was equally confused, but according to the literature that I'm still reading and are still trying to figure out, is that there's some kind of you might not be perfectionistic in terms of like you're actually making your room like really perfect. It's just that the idea in your head, actually it's being overcritical.
That's what that is. It's not perfectionist. I think it's being overcritical or whatnot.
But the psychologytoday.com or something like that, that's explaining it. I'm not sure where I actually got it, but so the therapist that wrote the article or YouTube video that I'm looking at is really Yeah, it's perfectionistic because of that critical voice, nga. And they
Right.
just like, it's just an overarch sort of umbrella. Why they call it being perfectionistic? Because there's like a critical factor. You have to be critical to be perfectionistic.
But why do you have to be so critical and perfectionist? Because there's no, first of all, we're never going to be a perfectionist. We'll never be a perfectionist or a perfect
Right.
person.
That's why people go to therapy and discuss this whole thing with their therapists. Because there's that logic. There's that logic about it. We can talk about it, and we all have this bro science. But
Right.
somewhere there's something lurking, and thinking, oh yeah, but you could have done this better. You could have done it faster. You could have said that differently. There's always like some, and yes,
But
it's nice to have.
That's all you have to do is ask yourself those questions.
Right, but there's, and I'm not very eloquent on how to explain it, but it all ties up to, oh, you can just do it later, because if you're not going to do it perfectly now, you might
What's
as
the
well
point?
not do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, that's where you're right. That's where it ties down to. But if you think of it like, okay, if I don't do it now, how will I know if it's right or wrong?
Yeah.
See what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So there's that, but then there's also like, if it's not going to be perfect, might as well not do it.
Yeah, but that's a contradictory, because how will you know if it's perfect if you don't do it?
Of course, bro. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just explaining that that's like
Got
all
it.
the
Okay, got
crap
it.
that's going on with my head. But exactly, it's like, just do it already. Figure out, like fail forward fast.
Right.
Learn the mistake so that you can fix it and you can, course correct. Yeah, but if that's not how you grew up, or you were always like, you don't know
Yeah.
how to wash the dishes. Let me do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go there and play with your GI Joes.
That's where the see, like I said before, I was so bad with my procrastination, right? But my wife actually, she didn't really tell me you got to do this now, that. It's because she's around as well as the kids that basically showed me that shit, I can't really wait for these things. It needs to be done, or I got to do this, I got to do that. And
So-
that's basically how I learned in that.
That's another thing you got to be thankful for your wife. is
No,
what
I
you're
think that's
saying.
enough. I mean, her head's hold on. You don't understand. She's right here. I'm not looking at her, okay? She's like standing right here, and I'm looking at her with my peripheral vision, just smiling, and she's doing this.
Right. It's like, wife, 2 points.
You see
Jason,
right there.
1.
What? What's wrong? She's like saying, why am I talking? I'm actually praising you. I'm giving you credit. She's like standing there like this, like, why are you talking about me? Like I'm talking bad about her. I'm actually.
Watch the VOD.
So all she heard was procrastination. So she thinks I was talking about. See, listen. So you want to say something here? You want to say something?
No.
See,
Anyway,
she hears what she wants to hear. That's the problem there.
not disagreeing with you. And like I said, I don't want to, ayokong bumabad. I don't want to spend too much time on that topic because I don't know too much about it. But just sharing with you that's what I've been sinking my teeth into the past couple of days.
Can I go back real quick? I'm so sorry. Out of everything that I said, I don't understand. This is what bothers me. This is how my brain works. Okay. I know I just spent like maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes giving her credit and praising her and all that stuff because she deserves it, right? But with all the good that I said there, all she heard was the bad. And I didn't even say anything bad. I mean, I was looking like this and she was literally standing right here. I could see her in my peripheral vision and she's like this. Like, what the fuck are you talking to me? Talking about me for, huh? What you made bad talking mean?
Bro, this is a perfect segue to start talking about the videos that have been going viral here in the Philippines. Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss? Because this one's going to be like a sort of massive.
Yeah.
It might eat up the rest of the.
Well, I got a couple, but it's okay. I can. That we already discussed. I already said Jollibee is opening up. Okay.
Okay.
And then let's talk about your stuff first because these are just random stuff about the news, the military, and about this architect that's building something that's similar to whatever.
Yeah, we've been looking into it too.
Yeah.
And we were discussing about it the other day. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's also another thing that we're trying to sink ourselves into. So yeah, his name is Slater.
Yeah.
And then so
Is
there's
that one
this
of the things you want to
project.
talk about?
Yeah, we could later.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
then
We'll
there's
talk
also
about
the
it
US
later. Let's skip that. Let's do yours.
base. Yeah, but where did we segue from this? Oh, because we're talking about your wife or your peripheral point of view.
Yeah.
How would you say that? Like you only saw like a part of it, and then you.
Just my peripheral vision. That's it. That's all I saw. I wasn't even looking at it,
Yeah, but you were explaining it in such a way.
Well, basically,
Somebody's-
I was praising her and giving her credit and all that stuff. I said all
Right.
good things, but for some
Right.
odd reason, she saw a bad thing.
Right.
I don't know.
So that's kind of what happened. Actually, there's like 2 or 3 videos that are out already. But basically, what they all have in common is either cocking a gun or gun violence or
This guy in the car that
harassment
came out
or
of the
bullying. Yeah, but point that I just wanted to share was so there's this thing that's going on. Somebody took a video and just relating it to what we were talking about with your wife, that they caught the story like right in the middle, but we don't know what happened before and then what happened after.
Right.
And then that's what everybody's all sort of nanggigigil or hot about, like what's the situation, what's the true story, what's going on, blah blah blah. But for me, the one that I wanted to sort of get out of the way first before anything else that you might want to talk about it, which everybody else is already talking about, the one that I feel like nobody's talking about is that these guys, 2 or 3 videos that we're talking about, a lot of them somewhere along the line said like, pakiusap lang namin dun sa nag-upload, for the one that uploaded the video. Please, consider like the family or the lives that you are harming based on your upload.
Hold on. This video you're talking about, is this the guy with the motorcycle and the red car?
Yeah, that's one.
Not motorcycle, cyclist.
What?
No.
Cyclist.
You're talking about the guy in the car that had a gun, and then
Right.
Yeah.
he had a confrontation with the cyclist. Yeah, so at the end of the press conference, and not a lot of people sort of reacted to this, but at the end of his press conference, which was also another contentious, debatable thing, was pakiusap lang. I'm just asking how did he say it? Like, if I would translate it in English, like, for the people that are uploading these videos, be careful, because you could be hurting somebody's
Family
reputation
safety.
or life.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
In a way, yes, because people get way out of line.
So if I took the video,
Yeah.
and I see, I'm like literally the one on the pickup that took the video of this guy, cocking his gun and pointing it at this cyclist, and he's obviously doing something guilty. He's guilty of something. It's a crime. I took a video of the crime
Nandun siya.
on accident,
Hmm.
because I wasn't expecting him to pull out the gun and cock it and put it, face
Correct.
Mm.
it to the biker.
Right.
I have this video.
Mm.
I know that, and I'm not being sarcastic about this. I'm really asking, if I had that video, I possess the video, what do I do next? I know that there's a crime that I captured on video.
You release it
What?
to the cops.
Correct.
To the cops, so I don't have to put it on social media, is what you mean?
I see something like that. I wouldn't, to begin with.
Okay.
Anybody that captures something that's out of the ordinary, especially if it's bad or malicious, and then post it socially, they're doing
Right.
that for their own reverence and type of thing, for their own
Okay.
15 minutes of fame.
Mm.
Is there a
Mali,
possibility that if I go to the cops, and since this guy is also a cop, that he would get special treatment and it actually won't go out, that it actually
Wow.
won't reach the Senate committee to have a hearing to actually talk about it openly? Isn't there
That's where you keep a copy. Basically, you have to be smart about it and keep a copy, submit it to the proper people, right? And if justice is not prevailed or justice does not serve right, then yeah, step in to do something because it's the right thing to do. Diba?
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but at the same time, for me, it's like I don't know. I guess I'm speaking specifically on this incident. I mean, there could be a special case where I really shouldn't upload.
Yeah. See, I see what the guy's saying. Let's just say the guy with the gun. We'll call him Tony for reference sake.
Gonzalez.
Oh, whatever. Si Gonzalez, sabihin na lang natin. Okay. I'm assuming we're talking about the guy that came out of the car where the motorcycle hit him, right? For example, Gonzalez.
Bicycle.
So, ang mali din dyan, okay, ang tapang-tapang, fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But as soon as you step out of the car, you pull a gun out, tama ba yun?
Not gun binatukan niya pa yung...
Yun na nga. Kasi, ang problema dyan, sino pa, ang nangyayari dyan is, nag-automatic na point fingers. Okay? Hindi marunong ang human nature na yan na you're not accepting responsibility for your mistake.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is what? Scare the guy off so that maybe he doesn't report anything or get any claim. Diba?
So that's not even the issue for me. For me, the issue is at the end of that press conference, it's like pinagbintangan pa niya yung nag-upload ng video that he was still like, this would have been over already if it weren't for you uploading that goddamn video.
Well, see, that's him just trying to cover himself already. If I'm in the panel,
that's why I'm reacting to it the way that I am. It's like,
right.
Who are you to tell me not to upload that video? If I felt like uploading the video and I can see that you did a crime, and I agree with you that maybe I should have gone straight to the proper authorities to, complain about it quietly, discreetly, silently, and so the guy can still hold his dignity. But that's besides the point, right? I mean, would there be laws now? Would they come up with a law saying like uploading a video like this is going to be illegal? That's what I'm scared of, or that's what I'm worried about.
I think there's a law in Boston called stop and stare, I think. I'm not sure. Basically, this law in Boston is if you see somebody getting harmed or a crime is being committed towards a human being and you don't do anything to help, you could be held liable for it as well. You know what I mean? And I think
same thing with child abuse. If I see a child being molested or something is being done and I'm witness to it, I'm actually an adult and I can do something about it and I open my mouth, I can be held liable. Yeah.
So I think he should have I think the right way that should have been done there is the guy should have just submitted it to the depende rin eh.
Let's stick with social media.
Okay.
Obviously
it seems like he put it up because he wanted, oh, look at what I caught. Yeah, his 15 minutes of fame. Diba?
Do you think there should be laws or restrictions about not posting videos that could be harmful to somebody's reputation or
I don't know.
Right?
Should there be a law against it? Ang hirap because that kind of law is like you're really telling people what to do.
Ako naman, isipin.
Sorry, Anna. But like the underlying argument, kasi without him actually saying it in the press conference or anybody actually saying it in the press conference, it's like, hey, we already had a settlement a couple of weeks ago. This is over and done with. Not worth talking about, really.
Right.
And then, like I said a while ago, like this would be a non-issue if you didn't upload it to begin with.
Well, that's him being stupid and not wanting to take responsibility because obviously it's an issue. From the very beginning, it's an issue. For him to say, oh, this would have been done with if you didn't upload your video. Okay, what? It'll be done and you would have gotten your way since you're an ex-cop or you're a cop? I mean, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Sa akin naman tama lang yung ginawa ng vlogger. Kasi what if the CCTV tinanggal nila, binura, 'di ba?
Yun na
At
nga.
least may second evidence, 'di ba?
Yeah.
May saksi dun sa nangyari.
Oo. Tama. I mean, in a way, tama, but at the same time, mali. I mean, it goes both ways, you know?
Mm.
Yun ang sketchy situation dyan. Pero in this case, I understand now that yes, he did the right thing because of how the other guy reacted.
Mm.
Is it for anyone just listening to this for the first time? This is not a case about libel or lying about someone. This is actually someone doing something on their own accord. Like, I didn't ask the guy to pull the gun out. I just took a video of the guy. I just happened to catch him pulling his gun out and doing that to the biker.
Right.
So I'm not like manipulating or lying or saying anything about the video. I'm not even explaining the before and after of the story. It's just this 10-second video.
I
The
think
story
like,
behind that and after that is subject to interpretation.
That's the key there, because it's we live in a society and we live in a world where everybody sees everything because of all the cameras out there.
So like I said, what this is all about to me is I'm worried that, there would be some kind of legislation or laws to say like you can't upload a video, or is there already something like that?
If it's pertaining to something illegal or breaking the law, they're going to say upload it.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about. Na parang like, will I be held liable because I uploaded the video?
Well, of course.
Because of something that you did?
I don't think you're held liable, but you could be charged for something. Do you see what I'm saying? If it's incriminating in a way, or
if there's malice or an intention to harm.
Yeah. Diba, it all comes down to interpretation talaga.
So,
what if naman, like, nuwari, in-upload niya, binuran niya, pinagtatangkaan naman ni Gonzales yung buhay ng vlogger.
Well,
there you go. I mean, again,
diba?
Is it worth it
don't
ba?
know.
Yan ang problema dyan. That's the risk that you take, especially in the Philippines, sa Pilipinas. Unfortunately, ang mga tao, masasaya ang mga tao, mababait sa Pilipinas. Pero, once pag sumakit na ang ulo at mainit na ang ulo, mainit talaga. Kasi mainit eh. Ganun palagi dyan,
That's the reason why I'm not a lawyer, because my understanding and my comprehension about that situation and my opinion about that situation like sort of stops there. I don't know what to say anything else about it, but
it's a great line.
It just scares me as an uploader, kumbaga, or as somebody that also shares video
It
online.
Shouldn't scare you as long as you don't do anything bad or have any malice about it,
with the intention to harm, right?
Yeah.
But yun nga eh. Like
for the most part, they're harmful.
Let's you might want to move on from this, but like one last thing about this topic. Like, for example, a couple of months ago, we had sort of a road rage incident also on the motorcycle. Something similar happened, like a car like cut us off. I told you a little bit about the story, but the thing that happened was I didn't have a camera.
Yeah.
If I did have a camera on the motorcycle and this, we caught this guy doing this road rage thing to try to harm us on the motorcycle. I would have gone to the police and maybe complained about it, but should I have put it up online too?
Here's the thing. If I personally, I said what I said, right? But personally, if I was in that situation and the guy pulls a gun out on me, obviously I'm going to feel threatened, right? For my safety, yes, I'm going to put the video out there because at least there will be a public suspect already.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if nothing like that happened, where it's just absolute argument and there's no physical harm or pure damage that was done, I'll leave it alone.
He used the car as a weapon.
Yeah.
He's trying to harm us to get us to fall off the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Right. So, which I can imagine happening. In that case, I'd probably post that just for my safety. Or report it to the police.
Yun nga, on top of going to the police and reporting it.
Well, maybe I'd just go to the police instead of posting it or something like that. Because yes, he's using a car as a weapon, so to speak, but it's not as bad as getting a gun pulled out on you.
What I'm afraid of is you go to the police and then the police says, "Okay, we'll investigate this, but you better shut your mouth. Don't say anything, huh? Don't post this on social media, okay?"
Well, then don't. Now, if something happens after the fact, fine, then don't post it on social media. So who cares, right? As long as
That's what I mean. Who cares?
Well,
who
kung
cares?
may mangyari, then
What
you post.
you? Okay. Anyway, I'll digest that first. We can move on if you want to, but that's my whole sentiment about it.
Right.
The whole don't post it on social media because you could harm somebody. Really?
Right.
Like, is that more important than this guy pulling his gun out? Right?
That's besides at that point when he said that was his bad already. Why he even say that?
Like,
because he's trying to turn the situation around because he's already bad for pulling out the gun to begin with. And then now he's trying to turn it around. It's like, oh, something could happen to my family. You're doing that. See what I'm saying?
So I don't have a hard-pressed opinion about it, and I don't know if I'm explaining my side eloquently, but that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Well,
malala pa dun eh. Bukod doon, di ba, nagkaroon na nga ng issue dun sa daan. So, nadala na si Presinto. Nung nadala si Presinto, pinagtulungan pa yung siklista.
That's what they're investigating. So, I don't know where that's gonna go.
Yung motorcycle driver?
Allegedly na parang, you expect this guy to make this settlement because he's a former cop. This is where he used to work and this is the police precinct.
Was he asking for money?
Yeah, 500 daw. Nagbayad ng 500.
Allegedly. They're still going to run an investigation on the precinct and the whole thing that went down. So I can't.
Hindi naman yata sinong pinagbabayad, yung motorcycle driver or yung
motorcycle driver?
Bicycle cyclist. Now here, this is the story that we kind of gathered. So the guy with the gun pulled his gun out, and then they went. He was the one that brought. I think what I understand is he was the one that brought the cyclist to the precinct, right? On top of that, he said, "Pay me 500 pesos because you scratched my car."
Yes.
Allegedly. That's
I don't know, man. I mean, at that point, it's so minuscule. Bakit palalakihin pa? Siya na ang nagpapalaki ng issue.
Exactly.
And he's
because
making
he thought he was going to get away with it.
Unfortunately, that's how it is in the Philippines still. People get away with stuff all the time.
Right. And then on top of that, the Quezon City Police Department puts together a press conference with him, reads his thing, and then at the end of the press conference says, "Pakiusap lang. Please be careful about people uploading videos like this online because we already settled the issue a couple of weeks ago."
Mali talaga. May pool yung tao. Siya na nga nakakotse na nakabangga sa kung mas masama pa. So ibang ang lumalabas diyan from my understanding, from my point of view, if he runs over the guy accidentally and kills him, anong sasabihin niya? Kasalanan niya siyang pumasok sa harap? Come on, man. If you're driving a vehicle that's larger than a motorcycle, obviously, and a person in there, you're liable no matter what. You're supposed to pay attention.
If that happened to Christine and I, which it sort of has happened already before, where somebody sort of ran after us.
Same.
One, I realized the first time that it happened, I was answering back with the other driver and, sinasagot-sagot namin or what. And then I realized, that's stupid. That's dangerous. We're putting ourselves in.
You're putting yourself in bigger risks.
So the idea is just to drive off, right?
Yeah.
So with this guy pulling his gun out, if the bicyclist or if the cyclist decided to just cycle off and not confront that guy, would the guy with the gun, would he have shot the guy on the bicycle?
No, I don't know about that. He'd probably go after him. You know what I mean?
He already did go after him, and he did catch up,
There you
which
go.
is where that incident started.
Yeah.
So, like, if we drive off, if we don't like face up to the guy, is there a chance that we're gonna get shot at the back of the head because we decided not to confront the guy with the gun?
Yeah, but there's also a chance of you getting shot in front of your head if you confront the guy. You're putting yourself in a bigger risk. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kami,
Exactly. So what do you do?
yung
You
sa atin
walk
na
away.
nangyari,
Walk
yeah,
away.
nag-walk away na kami before. Kami ni Noel, nag-walk away na kami. Sinundan pa rin kami, talagang tinulak kami.
Hinabol pa rin talaga.
Yeah, I mean, in
Talagang
that case, it's a different story. I mean, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But sometimes those people, pagka hothead na, pag gustong away, talagang gustong away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to. I'm never going to put anybody, especially my family, at risk like that. You know what I mean? Push comes to shove, and I got to do something and take a life over it. I'm going to do it to protect my family. You know what I mean? But if I can avoid any kind of situation like that, I will, because it's not worth it. You know what I mean? I have to admit, I am at fault with my tempers a lot of times as well. Before, you know, making a big deal about too much of a big deal of nothing, and it's my temper that gets the better half of me. Yeah, my wife is right. Up to now, I still do that. You know, I just literally did it like 2-3 days ago, and it sucks. You know, every time I do it, it makes me feel like absolute trash because I could have been the bigger person and just
twisted your ankle for the second time.
It happened in the same day. Yes. You know, I could have walked away and just
like you walked away limping away with your ankle, like
yeah, pero hindi. Yung temper ko pagka ganun na minsan, even though I was making sense and logically I was making sense, I should have been the bigger person because it's not worth it. You know what I mean?
Bigger person with a twisted ankle.
Right. Kailangan ganun na lang talaga. And we all go through that demonic stage or whatever. And it's up to us if we want to move forward from it and just face the responsibility with it or not.
And I say it's up to us if we're going to upload the video or not.
Exactly. Again,
like the way I see it, as much as you have the right to like take your gun out and show it to me, I have the right to upload the video.
Again, though, that's a different circumstance though. Depende lang talaga eh. You have to look at it in a way where in the grand scheme of things, is it worth it? Is it worth the headache? Is it worth possibly losing your life over it? Kahit na maliit na away lang. I don't do it all the time, but even now, kahit na maliit na argument lang, talaga, I have to weigh it because pick your battles. We're too old to fucking have to deal with this kind of stress. But unfortunately, we still have to because of our own decision. You know, and it sucks. Anyway.
Anything else you got on that list of yours?
Can we talk about this this architect Slater Young real quick?
Oh.
Okay.
So we don't have to dive into this for a long period of time. Okay. I don't know if you saw the videos and read the articles. I read the article in Phil Star and the Inquirer about it. Okay.
I'm curious what about it exactly is that tickles your fancy.
So one, yes, it is an architectural gem just by looking at it. It looks amazing. The concept seems to be an amazing vision. Okay. It's definitely one for the future. It's going to be something that's going to wow every visitor. But it's obvious it's for the rich people.
Yeah.
One of my comments on it was, this is obviously a project by the rich for the rich.
For the rich, yeah. Exactly. Is this something? Supposedly, it's for the country's to experience and whatnot. The reality of things is most people won't be able to experience it if it ever gets built.
Mm.
Sa vision na ginagawang yan, hindi ko lang alam kung magkano gagastos niyan. But imagine the cost of each unit. Wow.
Mhm.
First world problems.
Well, no, but I mean, it's just gonna be too expensive. It's not for everybody. It's for the rich.
Yeah.
Architecture is amazing. The vision is coming from Banaue rice terraces. And the best part about that is, as soon as I saw the model, that's the first thing that popped in my head. Oh my God, Banaue. The second question that popped in my head is, whoa, are they tearing down Banaue to put this up? Luckily, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, the type of engineering, or is it architecture, just designs that we have here in the Philippines, and who am I to say, is not the work with the elements, work with the environment kind of thing. It's like, what can we bulldoze out of the way? And you know what I mean?
Right.
Like maybe it's like that in let's say Palawan, you know, where they have those houses on stilts, and then you can live on those bungalows, and you know they're working with the environment and they're not like reclaiming the land. But
So
9 times out of 10, it's like, what can we carve out of this mountain and build something on top of it?
that's where he made the mistake of putting out, I think. One of the biggest sales pitch or whatnot that he was talking about is it's going to be a sustainable place and a sustainable environment, a self-sustaining environment, right?
Because let me just interject. Sorry, I'm looking, like, thinking of like a Netflix show that I watched where they got these houses in the forest, but the house is actually moving around the trees that are already there.
Right. That's exactly what people are mainly disappointed about this whole thing, because it's supposed to be self-sustaining, whatever, good for the planet type of thing, but you're tearing down a perfectly good, healthy mountain that's filled with wooded area already. That's
I think the word again is hypocrisy. I mean, you're saying, oh, it's this, sustainable environmental project because it's got trees.
I don't think it's hypocrisy. It's more trying to be trendy.
Yeah.
Using that as an excuse to catch on to people's trends and whatnot. It's a better sales pitch. Yes. Oh, you're tearing down the woods, a self-sustaining place, and then you're building a sustainable environment, which contradicts everything to begin with. Tapos sayang lang talaga. I mean, it's a very, very, very it looks like it's a beautiful project. I'll be honest with you, just by looking at it, Like I said, when I first saw it, I watched it on YouTube. I'm like, oh wow, they're tearing down Banaue for this.
They're tearing down Banaue.
That's the first thing that popped in my head, because the rice terraces.
They're tearing down?
Yeah.
You mean they're tearing down a mountain for this?
Yes, the rice terraces is what at first that's what I thought, but they're not doing that. I just want to clarify.
Yeah. This is in Cebu.
Yeah, because it's just basically based out of the Banaue rice terraces. That was the I guess the inspiration that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pero ang issue dyan is ginaya daw yan somewhere.
Whatevs.
Hindi niya talaga idea.
Yeah.
I mean, but madaming magsasabing ginaya, just like what? China building the longest bridge that they could ever build. Ginaya. Pwedeng sabihin ng mga tao, ginaya lang yan sa San Fernando Bridge or whatever. I don't know. San Lorenzo Bridge, whatever that bridge is in the Philippines. So that's easily said. The biggest thing there is like how he's basically saying that it's environmentally sustainable and whatnot, but you're tearing down already sustainable and sustained.
Bro, like I said, since I'm a budding architect myself, why couldn't they just work with the mountain? Well, I mean, with the design, right? Like where you could build sort of on top of the trees or around the trees, or
Or
somewhere where
inside
you're
of it.
not actually going to bulldoze a whole side of the mountain and like plant a few trees along the
Correct.
way.
Yeah, yeah. They could have literally built it. They probably could build it into the mountain.
I think
You know.
the design is offensive, I think, is
Really?
what it's feeling like.
Uh-oh.
I think it's like it's offensive how it's explained to you're like, oh, it's sustainable environmental project like this, and then when you're looking at it, it's like
Yeah.
you're not gonna fool me. I might not be an engineer or architect, but I know what it takes to build something like that. And it's not
Right.
going to be sustainable or environmental.
Yeah. But my
That's why
final
it's
two cents. My final
it's
2 cents.
insulting. It's insulting to my intelligence.
Right, right. My final 2 cents in this whole issue or project is I want to see if it's going to pass or if it's going to come into fruition. I have to admit, I still do want to see it because it looks promising and it looks amazing. But at the same time, maybe they just need to tag it differently, you know? Because really, if they didn't say what they said about how it's going to be sustainable and whatnot,
Right.
people probably wouldn't even care.
They use the wrong marketing words.
Yes, they just had the wrong sales pitch there.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. Most of the time, people won't give a crap. To be honest with you, most people will probably think, "Wow, more jobs. Let's go."
Mm.
You know.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Speaking
that's
of
my
more
2
jobs.
cents.
Speaking of more jobs, Toyota Santa Rosa plant. Something
Right.
to look forward to, right?
Yeah.
Hey, next episode, I don't want to stretch this too far, but let's talk about your camping gear, your camping adventures in the future.
Yeah. Definitely.
Real quick, so I was telling you about Solana going to the Mongol Derby. She finished. She had her adventure
Yeah.
Mm.
with the horses, and then now that she's back in Baguio, she comes home to the pony boys or the horses. You know, the Baguio is known for the Baguio horses, right?
Yeah. The horse riding. Yeah.
Right park, that kind of thing. They're building they basically got kicked out. The construction started for like a parking lot there.
My
What?
God.
Yeah.
What?
We'll talk about it another time. I
In
still
the
have
middle
to look
of the
into it.
park, because I know
Yeah.
that park is close to where the water is, where
Yeah.
you can actually paddle
So-
boat.
Yeah, no, you mean Burnham Park?
Yes, Burnham Park. Yes.
No, it's in,
Hindi,
in
no,
another
another
location.
one.
But
Ah.
whatever. The whole point is that the guys that own the horses, the pony boys, don't know where to run their business or are basically jobless right now. It's already
But isn't that
Barely-
private property?
government property kind of thing or whatever. I mean, but so the point is this tradition, I guess is the word, or this staple of Baguio tourism identity, tradition, culture kind of thing is brushed aside for the sake of urban development.
It happens, and sad to say, it's been happening everywhere here as well. It
Lahat
sucks.
mawawala eh.
So, but it's just the irony of the story is that she just came from the Mongol Derby, racing horses endlessly for
Mm.
a couple of weeks or a whole week, doing 1,000 kilometers.
Since we're talking about
falling in love with horses all over again, and
Yeah.
then now this is what we got at home. Welcome back, Solana.
An,
um,
ganito daw yun. Walang forever.
Walang forever. Yun lang. So, well, I just wanted to bring that up.
there's a difference kasi in the Philippines. It's not that there's no forever, but they have no choice but to adapt to times because of the amount of land to begin with,
Mm.
unfortunately.
So,
One of the things that we could talk about actually in the next episode, if you don't mind me to go through it, have you this is old news and it's been going. Have you heard of the wall that's being built by the United Emirates?
oh yeah, the city that's
A
just
city
a straight
wall.
line. Yeah.
Which kind of relates to what we just talked about, because one of the biggest problems that they're having
Mm.
is land situation. Instead of keeping everything expanding out, which in that way everything gets left behind, napapabayaan.
Oh.
The further things are from the middle, napapabayaan.
Mm.
Okay.
So when they're building that city, it's not just a city for like the rich people. They're trying to for the citizen is what they're doing, so that everything can be well maintained.
Right. What's the issue? Are they running into?
There's no issue. There's no issue at all. I'm just saying that I've never really talked about it before, and I'm quite fascinated by it because it's a vision. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And they're turning it into a reality. Biruin mo na lang.
Hey, can you imagine the person that thought about that? It's like, I have an idea, guys.
Right?
See this
Must be
map?
nice.
Line. What's that line, sir? That's the next vision.
There you
That's
go.
our next. That's our next urban development. Like, what
Right.
do you mean? It's the line,
The wall.
the wall, right?
The
But
wall.
I mean, that's the whole idea, though, right? That it's just one straight line across the desert.
Basically. Yeah. That's it.
It's like,
And,
You know,
and the
it's like-
wall is actually created to look like glass so that when you're looking at it, it looks like it's an endless type of thing.
or that, yeah. But rice terraces, Banawe rice terraces,
Yeah.
carving off the mountain. Screw that. Let's just draw a line.
Mhm.
I think we are at the end now. I think we're good. What do you think? Anything else? I mean, I had a couple of things, but I can talk about that another time.
Yeah, man. Coffee's cold. Water's running out. And
Weathers.
I need to pee.
Anyway, that being said, maraming salamat. Thank you very much for joining us again here, episode 73, Down the Drain. Catch us on the next episode. Again, this is The Flip Side with Jay Noel. My name is Jay.
Name's Noel.
See you guys later.
On the flip
flip
side. Oh, thanks, Christine. I always forget about her, right?
You can catch the full episodes on youtube.com at The Flip Side with Jay Noel. Full episodes uploaded every Wednesdays and Saturdays.